everybody, it's Etsymonty117 here, and today I'm going to do a review on an album. Yeah, I'm going to do some album reviews in the meantime before the first song suggestion weekend comes out, which is not going to be this weekend because I'm traveling to England and I can't make videos there, so because I have stuff to do. But yeah, the album I'm going to review today is, if you can see the poster in the back, I'm going to review an album from Rush. The reason I'm reviewing a Rush album is because Rush is one of my favorite bands of all time. Their musicianship, their compositions, their chemistry, their catchy melodies, the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are just all over the place. And it's honestly, most of it's great. It focuses on today's society, it focuses on fantasy, it focuses on science fiction, philosophy, metaphors. It's just brilliant. And in this series of album reviews, in this series of reviews, we're going to talk about every Rush album that has come out from their first album to their last album, which came out in 2012. So yeah, the first album we're going to talk about is the first Rush album that came out in 1974. And if it's one thing, compared to their albums that have come later, it isn't as good. Does it mean it's a bad album? Hell no. If it's one thing, it's still a much better Rush album than something like Vapor Trails, for example. Definitely a lot better in quality. Just a little history for those who don't know about Rush. Rush is a Canadian band with the current members being Geddy Lee, the bassist, Alex Lifeson, the guitarist, and Neil Peart being the drummer. But in the first album, instead of the drummer being Neil Peart, the drummer was John Rutsey. And for being the first drummer on the band, John Rutsey, he's not that bad actually. Yeah, a lot of people really like to criticize this guy for not having that great drumming skills. And, well, the first album was pretty straightforward compared to their later work, so his really simple drumming was kind of needed, since, you know, the songs are really straightforward lyrically and musically, except for a few songs. The more complex songs in the album are What You're Doing, Finding My Way, and I could say Working Man, I guess. No, that song's pretty hard, and the drumming in that one is pretty wicked, I have to admit. One thing you'll notice when you're listening to this album is that the style that they opted to go for, the first album, is way more different to any of the styles they did in their later work. Instead of it being progressive rock, or heavy rock, or pop rock like they would do in subsequent later albums, like for example Farewell to the Kings, Power Windows, Presto, or Roll the Bones, for example, you get the idea. This style they opted to go for was hard rock, in a similar vein of Led Zeppelin. And throughout most of the album, you can notice the Led Zeppelin influences pretty clearly. Good examples are What You're Doing being influenced by songs like Whole Lotta Love, and Here Again being influenced by, I'm pretty sure I would say Battle of the Evermore. Like, the tone of it is really Battle of the Evermore, like, in my eyes at least. A lot of people really seem to hate the fact that this album is very Led Zeppelin. I am kind of mixed about it. In some respects, I kind of like that they're taking influences from Led Zeppelin because, you know, Led Zeppelin was a really huge band when they first came around. And, you know, it's cool to see a band that's similar to one of the biggest and most influential rock bands of all time. But at the same time, I do think the songs are lacking in originality. I mean, for example, Finding My Way is really Led Zeppelin. Like, a lot of people, when they first heard this song, and Working Man, for example, they thought that it was Led Zeppelin and not Rush, because they never even heard of Rush when they released those two songs. And I could agree with what they're trying to say here. But like I said, there's some songs that do well with Led Zeppelin influences, like What You're Doing and Here Again. Some songs still do fail in that aspect, and that's Take a Friend, for example, which is really boring. It's a really straightforward straightforward guitar riff kind of song. And what I mean by guitar riff kind of song is that it's only a song where you only play like one guitar riff, and the rest of the song is just basic lyrics that I think anyone could write. Another song I don't really think works well with the Led Zeppelin tone they were going for was In the Mood. It's fine, but I just don't like the lyrics they're doing here. They're trying to make it like Whole Lotta Love, you know, with the really sexual themes, but it just comes off as really forced in this one compared to Whole Lotta Love, where the sex elements to it were actually pretty genuine, in my opinion. I'm not saying that Whole Lotta Love is that great of a song, because I don't really think it's that great, but I actually like how they executed the whole sex subject in that song, at least. And In the Mood, it comes off as very forced, in my opinion. The lyrics on the song are, for lack of a better word, crap. I know I'm giving them a lot of slack here, and Alex and Gay aren't really skilled songwriters, and this is the first album, by the way. But still, it's for being Rush, at least, it's really lame and really straightforward, basic, and stuff you can't expect from Led Zeppelin, for example. Find My Way and In the Mood are great examples. Find My Way's lyrics are pretty creepy if you think about it. Like, there's a part where he's like, "Ooh, I said I'm coming out to get you. Ooh, I sit down. I'm coming out to find you. Ooh yeah, finding my way." Which sounds like he's going to kill his wife, even though he's desperate to come home because he's been outside in the cold weather, I think. I don't know, they never explain it. And In the Mood is, I've already talked about why I don't like the lyrics in that song, so I'm not gonna repeat myself here. But yeah, it's pretty lame for the most part. So overall, I don't think that the lyrics are horrible, but the lyrics in this one album are really lame compared to the later Rush albums that would come. While the album isn't that great in the lyrics department, musically the album is just as good as their later albums. Hell, even better. The heavy sound of the guitar, the drumming, which like I said before, I actually like, and the really Robert Plant-like vocals of Geddy Lee just makes this album such a fun ride. There's not a single song that sounds musically boring, except for Take a Friend, which like I said, I never really cared for in the first place. The other songs are top-notch when it comes to the musical aspect. And there's one of the few reasons why I keep coming back to this album time and time again. Compared to albums, let's say Vapor Trails, where musically it isn't musically that great, and this is one of the few reasons I don't come back to it. With the first Rush album, I said the lyrics aren't that great, but like I said, it's just the instruments and and how the members incorporate the instruments that makes the album such a delightful listen. So the final verdict, it's a good album. I mean, not all the songs are great, like for example Take a Friend, In the Mood, and Working Man. Nice, I already talked about why I don't like Take a Friend and In the Mood, but Working Man is a song that everyone likes that I don't really seem to get. Maybe it's the fact that the song is really straightforward, there's not much variety in the verses, maybe it's the lyrics. Maybe it's the fact that the only good part of the song is the guitar work and nothing else really stands out. I don't know, the song doesn't really click with me as much as other people do. That being said, the rest of the album is pretty good. Now, so the lyrics aren't that great, but the instrumentals, or at least the instruments, the heavy and crisp sound, the memorable riffs, the energy in the vocals, it's just a hell of a fun ride. Is it the best album? Definitely not. For being their debut album, I think it still holds up to this very day. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the album. And stay tuned for more. What was that? Ooh.